Hi, everyone. Good morning. Immigration attorney Amanda Bradley here. Because the government just has released the dates for applying for the 2026 Diversity Visa Green Card Lottery, I wanted to make a short video today to explain some of the really important considerations before you submit your application. There's no fee to apply for the Green Card Lottery, and you can only apply from one place, which is the official US government site. Check the description below for the exact link. It's extremely important to follow the instructions when you're filling out your application. You can check the instructions on the link below. The government has very specific instructions as well as frequently asked questions. So please take time to read them very carefully and go through the questions before you begin your application. There are two really fundamental requirements for being eligible to apply for the Green Card Lottery for 2026. Okay, the first one is your country of eligibility. Most likely, this is the country where you were born, because the Diversity Visa Lottery is limited to countries with less immigration than most countries for the US. So every year, there's a list of countries that are eligible and that are non-eligible. You can check on the instructions. It'll also tell you which countries are not eligible for 2026. Okay, so the first requirement is that you be a native of one of the eligible countries. That is the main requirement. However, there is an exception if your spouse is a native of one of the eligible countries, but you are not. So you may choose the country of your spouse. Also, if both of your parents happen to be natives of an eligible country and they did not live in or reside formally in the country of your birth when you were born, then you may also be able to choose the country of your parents' birth if it's eligible. But this is very complicated, so please check over the instructions and the frequently asked questions very carefully before you choose your country. If you choose incorrectly and you put down a country of chargeability for yourself that is not the correct one, even if you're selected, your entry will be disqualified. So please take time to read that and really understand that because it's important. Okay, the second fundamental requirement is either education or work experience. So in order to apply for the Green Card Lottery, you must have the equivalent of a high school education, which generally means 12 years of formal education, primary and secondary school. Or you may also qualify if you have 2 years of specific work experience within the last 5 years. So you need to check the frequently asked questions on the instruction website to see if your specific work experience would qualify for this requirement. Okay. Also, some very important considerations to keep in mind when you're filling out your application. Any of these could cause you to be disqualified, so it's very important to do this correctly. First off, list your name exactly as it appears on your passport if you have one. It's not required to have a passport, but if you do have a passport, list your name exactly as it appears on your passport. There's also a photo requirement. So you must take a recent photo of yourself within the last 6 months. And according to the specific directions on the website, it has to be a specific format, a photo. You have to submit one for yourself, one for your derivative spouse, and for any of your derivative children. Okay, this is very important. If you forget to upload a photo of your spouse or children, they may be ineligible, even if they're chosen. Okay, so take the time to look over those instructions and make sure that you comply with this requirement. Okay, this is also extremely important. You must name your eligible spouse and any of your eligible children on your entry form, on your entry application. If you do not enter your spouse or your eligible children, you will be disqualified even if you're selected. And even in the off chance that you do get a visa, in the future, your spouse and your children will not be able to immigrate based on your status, because this is an absolute requirement. So I know that sometimes there are visa consultants out there who recommend that you do not list your spouse or children because you supposedly have a better chance of getting selected if you're single, but that is not true. That is not true. There are sufficient numbers within the visas to account for derivative spouses and children. So you need to include them. Otherwise, you will be disqualified. Okay, so the entries are selected randomly. At some point in the year, the government will do a random selection, a computer-based random selection of all of the eligible entries. Those results are released on May 3rd, 2025. So that's when you can go back to the same website where you applied and check the results. It's very important. The government will not notify anyone if they've been chosen or not chosen. So it's very important that you save your confirmation number. And so that you can have that, you're going to need to enter your confirmation number into the system when you check your results starting on May 3rd. The results will be available from May 3rd until the end of September of 2026. So starting from May 3rd, 2025 to September 30th, 2026, you can check your results. So please take your time to read the instructions, go over the frequently asked questions, and to make sure that you have the best chances for success. Leave a comment below or ask a question if you have any questions, and good luck to all who apply.